Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. This is definitely a video I didn't want to make, but it is what it is. Okay, what you see here is the finished Spitfire. As you saw in the last video that we did, we had it on the base and it was working and it was raising and it was lowering and it was doing everything that it needed to do, apart from the fact the gears were the wrong way round, and I believe my port size guns weren't working either. I actually rectified the gear lever thing. I put the wire in and it worked absolutely fine. Trouble is, that night something happened, and that was the lifter on the port side decided to do its own thing and basically went up and jammed. While that was happening, what I didn't know was that the control board was overheating. So I managed to stop everything. I think I must have burnt it out because the left lifter just didn't want to do anything after that. I checked all the switches, everything was fine. The lifter just didn't want to work. And I confirmed that it was the board because I just took the right lifter out and plugged it into where the left lifter goes. Nothing. So it meant that I was going to need a new circuit board. But then there was another problem that hit. The propeller stopped working. So I couldn't figure that out. So in the end, I stripped the whole thing back as if I was doing a gear change to find that out. Everything was fine. No wire broke, nothing. I checked continuity of a multimeter. Absolutely fine. Again, it was the board on the Spitfire this time. Now, one of the problems that came in when we had to do a lot of the change arounds, with the new board for the base, trying to get the old plugs out was a nightmare. And in fact, not only was it pulling out the plugs from the control board, on my case, on the base, it pulled out the pins. And on this case here, it actually pulled the wires out of the motor wire. So if I was to actually replace the motor, if that was wrong, or the control board, I'd have to strip the whole thing down, which I just wasn't willing to do. Too much was going wrong. There were some problems with the build, which I'm going to tell you about in a second. And it frustrated me, and I get to the point where I'm like, I'm done. I am done. And sure, you've seen me do it before with the HMS Victory, but yeah, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. So what I did is I took it off the stand. I destroyed the stand, and I had a good smashing up session with that. I should have filmed it, really. Not gonna go into that. And then I built this so that my father, who I built this for, can actually have a Spitfire. Now, to be honest, it's not really that big a deal for me. The thing is, my dad's in the advanced stages of Parkinson's, so he couldn't have actually probably picked this up because this is a real heavy plane. He wouldn't have been able to do the remote control anyway and do the banking and stuff like that. So it is a static model for him. So for me, it works out. But I do know there's other people in the community that are having the same problem. Now, I've done some video here just showing you what the finished thing looks like, and it does look impressive. It's an absolutely brilliant plane. You can tell where your money's gone because of how heavy this thing weighs, but it does have its issues, as you can see through the front sections here. The panels don't line up very well at all, and I've tried my best to get these to line up to this standard, which meant bending some of the metal, shaping it, forming it just to get it into place. But other than that, everything else went together okay. It's just a shame that it was left to issue 93 to tell us there's an issue, and what I thought the issue was with the control board inside the Spitfire, which is why I stopped the build. I didn't have an inkling that they wanted us to strip it back all the way to issue 36 and change the gears, even though that seems like quite a simple fix when we looked at John Builds Iconic Military Models channel. Unfortunately, John's not the only one who's had a problem with a metal snapping. It's happened to a couple of people in the community as well. Now, funny enough, with all the problems that I've had of this going wrong, the gears wasn't one of them, and I didn't even change them. So, so that doesn't make any sense to me at all. So what do I think of the Spitfire? I think the Spitfire is an absolutely brilliant model. As looking at it, it's a brilliant model. The dynamic parts of it and the electrics is the biggest letdown I think I've seen. Absolute letdown. And because of that, it's wrecked the whole build. Now, I don't want people following along my videos to not have a conclusion. so that the video is not actually ending. So for that reason, and I'm sorry to say this, I've taken them all down. The playlist has gone and the videos are down. If you want to see a good build of this, then definitely go over to John Builds Iconic Military Models, and I have put his link in the video description, and you can see what he's done with his Spitfire. Also, there is a Facebook group where you can see some people, they've repainted the plane and everything. Looks absolutely brilliant. And I bow down to how well some of you have made this look. Unfortunately, I haven't got the time or the patience to continue doing this to actually get this done. And I've promised my dad this now for, God, it must be 2.5 years, coming on 3 years, and he's getting on, and I want him to have some enjoyment with it. So that's why I'm going to be taking this around his house shortly. So, but that is what's happened to the Spitfire. So I apologise for anyone that was following along. We couldn't actually finish it in the end, but you know what? We don't have these issues in the workshop every time, and I think this is the first part work build which has just beat me. But it has beat me. So, but you know me, I just pick myself up, dust myself off, and we'll build the next one. Now, the good thing is we have got a plane that goes on a stand, which at the moment, everything's absolutely working fine, and that is the Agora Model Zero Fighter. I'm still waiting for the last 2 boxes, box 11 and 12, but it's going to be my version of the Spitfire. It's going to be on the dynamic stand, and everything's going to work fine. Anyway, listen, I hope you like that video. I hope you like me being as honest as I can be for this. As I said, I'm just disappointed, and not just for myself, but for all the folks that have been watching this build as well. But this is drawn a line under it, and that's the end of the Spitfire build. So I hope you're keeping well. Take care.